continuously innovating, right? As you're getting started, you have this great idea. How do you ensure that you're staying at the forefront of your industry and that your competition is not catching up with you, right? So interesting tips is there. Check out rework.withgoogle.com. The second thing that you need to think about once you have your team in place is your MVP. You need to design a product which you can take to market, ideally a scrappy product that addresses the needs of a certain, user pool that you already have in mind. And we have resources to help you get your idea off the ground. My first recommendation is going to be the design sprint methodology. A few years back, the team at Google Ventures put together an open source, the design sprint methodology, as a way of guiding startup founders to design and think about their new products and being able to structure the application that they're thinking about. So the goal here is to help you transform your MVP into a tangible product, your idea into an MVP that can be put into users' hands. So the design sprint methodology is free for all. It's accessible to everyone. You do not need product designers in your team to be able to use this. There's a set of resources you could go together as a team to be able to design and build this together. As we think about this world that we're living in, which is mobile first, we've put together a set of resources under material design, which is really guidance on how you think about not just Android applications, but also designing responsive web applications, designing these applications for what we call new markets, right? When you're building for regions with limited connectivity and ensuring that your applications are responsive, we have some design philosophies that you could go through. Beyond that, there's a bunch of resources as well as you're getting started. If you're an Android dev, how do you join the early access program? How do you get beta testers into your application? If you're building a web application, we've got Lighthouse as a way of auditing your web apps. I know Maya might be speaking about this later on. And so many other tools that you could leverage as a software developer, as a startup, as you're getting started, right? So the first thing, build your team. You have your MVP in place. The next step is to make decisions on tech and infra. Probably one of the single most important decisions for a tech startup, right? Do we buy a server, put it in our office and run Linux on it and host the application from there? And every time there's a nationwide power blackout, our application is offline, right? All these decisions that you need to make. And we're here to walk that journey with you. At Google, at the moment, we have, next slide. We have 9 products with 1 billion monthly users. Right? 1 billion monthly users who keep coming back to use this application. I'm using this slide to show that I think we have an idea of what it takes to run applications at scale. And these applications are actually leveraging Google Cloud. Right? So your application will be in good company with Google's products. And so to help you get started, we have a Google for Startups Cloud program. And we have 2 tiers on that program, one for companies that have been running for a while. But for early stage startups, we've got what we call the Start tier, which is essentially designed for companies that are new, you're just getting off the ground, you're thinking about which cloud platform I should get into. You get access to cloud credits, you get access to what we used to call Quick Labs, now known as the Skills Boost platform, where you can go and learn more about GCP. We give you access to Google Workspace as well, right, which is an important aspect of your team being able to communicate and share everyday resources. So check that out as well. You do get access to Google Workspace. You get access to Maps credits. If your application has mapping on it, you could be able to leverage that. All right. And also just to quickly mention, also from a Google perspective, we have other tech platforms there from Google to continue supporting Africa's startup ecosystem. Why is this startup conversation important? As I mentioned, we've got a significant pool of young Africans coming into the job market each year, but also, again, going back to our developer report that we published earlier this year, we estimate that 50 of software developers in Africa are actually working in startups. By a show of hands, how many of us are working in a startup? Right? I see a fair number of hands in the room. So it's an important conversation as we think about acquiring our skills. Could we put some of those skills into building a business that can provide value, economic value, for us as individuals, for those around us, and for our countries as well. That said, I'm at the end of my talk. Once again, welcome to Devfest. This is one of 100+ events taking place in Africa this year. Thank you, GDG Kigali, for this amazing T-shirt. Right? And I'm looking forward to interacting with some of you throughout the day. Enjoy the sessions. Please participate. There's a lot of technical knowledge for you today available. Ask questions, meet new people, and make the best out of the event. Thank you, and have a wonderful day.
Thank you very much, John. Indeed, the pain of every startup is to get to market. And the dream is just to get to slightly half or quarter to what Google has with 9 billion plus users on their platform. I mean, what would that do for you, startup? So thank you very much, John.